What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite hard rock band, Kiss. Really great band. They have 20 albums. I'm going to be ranking them from worst to best. Of course, everybody knows the classic lineup: Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss. Then after that, they've had a lot of different guitar players, and they haven't had a lot of drum changes. Of course, Eric Singer was in the band from the early to late 90s, and then he was out, and then Peter Criss came back for the reunion, and Ace Frehley. And currently, for the guitar playing, Tommy Thayer is the current guy they have, and Eric Singer is currently back in the band with them. But before that, Vinnie Vincent came along after Ace left. And then Bruce Kulick was on 5 albums. Mark St. John was on 1 album. And yeah, so I'm going to be ranking all 20 of their albums from worst to best. I'm going to try to be quick with the first 5 albums because there's 20 of them. No one wants to sit here forever and watch that. So yeah, starting off at the bottom, it's going to be Music from the Elder. Not a good album at all. It's pretty much them trying to do a concept album thing, and it doesn't work. They have some orchestral elements, which is pretty forgettable to me. I'd say Dark Light is the only song worth mentioning. But yeah, that is my bottom album. Number 19, I'm going to go with Crazy Nights. This album is pretty overproduced. A couple of the better songs, I'd say, were No, No, No. That was one of the better songs. And Reason to Live, but overall, not too great. Number 18 is going to be Sonic Boom. Now, this album came out after almost an 11-year gap from their previous studio album, Psycho Circus. They hadn't been broken up or anything, but yeah, they hadn't been releasing albums for a few years. But yeah, this album is the first album with current guitar player Tommy Thayer, and it is the first one with Eric Singer since 1997, so yeah, it's not a terrible album by any means. I like the songs. Modern Day Delilah, that song's pretty good. And When Lightning Strikes, but overall, not too great. And number 17, I'm going to go with Hot in the Shade. This album came out in 1989. It was the last album with Eric Carr in full on the drums. He passed away shortly after, unfortunately. But yeah, not a terrible album. A couple standout tracks that I wrote down were Prisoner of Love. That song is really good. Betrayed is pretty good. Little Caesar is really good, underrated song sung by Eric Carr. But yeah, not a terrible album, but it is my number 17. Number 16, I'm going to go with Animalize. Now, this album is the only one with Mark St. John, who is, he's not a terrible guitar player, I don't really love his tone all that much on this album. It's kind of forgettable, to be honest. There's a couple pretty good songs. Of course, Heaven's on Fire is one of their biggest songs of all time, and I can see why it's pretty good. It's a staple in their set. I've Had Enough Into the Fire has some really great, surprisingly good guitar work. Under the Gun is pretty much speed metal. And Throws in the Night is also pretty good, but not too great other than those couple songs. And number 15, where were we at? Number 15, yeah. So number 15, I'm gonna go with Carnival of Souls. Now this album, they were trying to go for more of a grunge sound. And, I don't hate grunge at all, don't get me wrong. It's, not a bad genre. I like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, and Nirvana. So, yeah, this one, it's got some good stuff, actually. Hate, Master and Slave, Rain, Jungle, Seduction of the Innocent, I Confess. Which, those are actually all pretty solid tracks. But, overall the rest of it is pretty weak, but overall I'd say it's not a bad album. So that is my number 15. At number 14, the rest of these I'm giving at least an 8 out of 10, so I really love the rest of these albums. So number 14 is going to be Monster, their latest album. I think this one is a massive step up from Sonic Boom. It's way more consistent, better production, better songwriting. Yeah, it sounds really good. The opening track, Hell or Hallelujah, is one of my favorite Kiss songs of all time. Love Paul Stanley's vocal melodies. And Wall of Sound is also pretty good. Out of This World, that's sung by Tommy Thayer, but it's still pretty good. Pretty good album. 8 out of 10 for sure. So yeah, that is my number 14. And for number 13, this might be a bit lower than a lot of people have it, but I'm going to go with Revenge. Yeah, it is a good album, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a tad overrated. A lot of people have it like one of the top 10 greatest Kiss albums. I don't necessarily agree to that. Don't get me wrong, it's a great album still. Domino is a pretty good song. Unholy, Thou Shalt Not, Heart of Chrome, God Gave Rock and Roll to You, all good songs. Just, I like a lot of their other stuff a bit better, so yeah, not a bad album at all, but it is my number 13. And for number 12, I'm going to go with Unmasked. Now, this one, there was a change in their style, and even with the lineup, Peter Criss is not there, even though he's credited on the drums. Those were all done by Anton Fig. And this one, they were trying to go for more of a pop sound, which it actually kind of works. I think they did a pretty good job trying to go for the pop sound. A lot of really good stuff. Is That You to open it up is really good. Naked City, Tomorrow is one of my favorite Kiss songs. Talk to Me is a really good song, sung by Ace Frehley. So yeah, another pretty solid album, but it is my number 12. Number 11, I'm going to go with Asylum. Now, this album was the first one with Bruce Kulick doing the guitar work, who is actually a pretty amazing guitar player. He did some pretty great work with the band, especially on this album. This one, King of the Mountain to open it up, is fantastic. Really great song. Who Wants to Be Lonely, Any Way You Slice It, All Night is pretty good. So yeah, another really solid album. And my number 10, this might be where I upset some people, but I'm going to go with Destroyer. Obviously, this is their most popular album. A lot of people probably have it at number 1. Yeah, it is a great album still, don't get me wrong. It's an 8.5 out of 10, I'd say. Overall, I just don't really like the song Great Expectations. I think that one is pretty weak. But other than that, the rest of the album I think is pretty good. Detroit Rock City is one of their greatest songs of all time. Came to the Nighttime World, God of Thunder, Shout It Out Loud, Beth, their biggest hit of all time, Do You Love Me? So, not a bad album at all though, but it is my number 10. And my number 9, I'm gonna go with the self-titled debut. Really great stuff here, good start to their career. Strutter to open up the album is definitely another one of my favorite Kiss songs. Really great vocal harmonies from Paul Stanley. Nothing to Lose is really good. Firehouse, which I did a cover of on my channel. Cold Gin, Deuce, 100,000 Years, Black Diamond to close out the album is great. So another pretty solid album, but it is my number 9. Alright, so next up on my list is, where are we at here? Number 8, Psycho Circus. This one is the reunion album. Of course, Ace Frehley and Peter Criss had been out of the band for about 15 years, so they came back and they put out a pretty solid album in my opinion. Into the Void is one of my favorite songs of theirs. That one's sung by Ace Frehley. Really great vocal melodies from him. The guitar solo is awesome. Yeah, and the title track, really good. Within is a pretty cool song. And the song You Wanted the Best is really cool. On that one, each of the band members takes turns singing the verse. So that's pretty cool. I wish they do cool stuff like that on more of their songs, but yeah, pretty good album, and it is my number 8. Number 7, I've got this album on CD. I'm gonna go with Lick It Up. This one is the last album with Vinnie Vincent. This is actually a pretty good album. I don't think this album is pretty overlooked in my opinion. This one, it's not usually talked about like Creatures of the Night is, even though this one sold more copies than Creatures. But this is a pretty good album. Of course, the title track is one of their biggest songs of all time. Exciter, that was probably my favorite on the album. Not for the Innocent, Young and Wasted, Give Me More is really cool. All Hell's Breaking Loose. Yeah, pretty good album, and it is my number 7. Number 6. Yeah, number 6. This is another one that I don't have a copy of. It's Rock and Roll Over. Pretty good album. Of course, they released so many great albums in the 70s. Most of the time they released 2 albums every year. They released 2 albums in 74, 1 album in 75, 2 in 76, and this was the second they did in 76 after Destroyer. A lot of good stuff on it. I Want You to Open Up the album is fantastic. Take Me, Calling Dr. Love is one of their biggest songs of all time. Ladies Room, Baby Driver is definitely a favorite on the album. Hard Luck Woman is a really good ballad that destroys Beth. And Making Love is easily my favorite on the album. So yeah, pretty solid. And number 5, we have Creatures of the Night. Really great album. Ace Frehley is on the cover of that album, but he didn't play on it. Of course, it was done by Vinnie Vincent. And, of course, it was also the second one with Eric Carr. So that's also pretty cool. I Love It Loud is one of my favorite songs of theirs. That's a really great hit. The title track is great, and probably I Still Love You are my favorites. So, pretty solid album. Number 4, I'm going to go with Dressed to Kill. And this definitely has, I'd say, Ace Frehley's best guitar solo on Ladies in Waiting. Really great energy to that song also with Gene's vocals. Yeah, really good. Room Service, it's also pretty good. Rock Bottom has really good acoustic intro, and then it goes into that heavy riff. Really just love everything about that song. Come On and Love Me, so pretty good album. Number 3, I've got this one on CD as well, and it is Hotter Than Hell. Really great heavy album. This was their second release overall. It's got some really good classic stuff. Got to Choose, Parasites, Going Blind, the title track. And the title track actually has a really weird guitar solo. It sounds like 2 different solos playing at once. That's another thing I wish they did in a lot of songs. But yeah, and some other standouts. Strange Ways is pretty much borderline doom metal. Watching You is great. So yeah, pretty solid album. And my number 2, this one might be a bit surprising actually. I'm gonna go with Dynasty. It's a great album. I think it's pretty underrated, honestly, considering everyone considers it to be the sellout disco album, which I don't see why, because there's only one disco song on the whole album, which is the first track, I Was Made for Loving You. But the rest is pretty much all hard rocking. Which, yeah, 2000 Man is a really good cover of a Stones song. Really good stuff. It's got some great vocals from Ace Frehley. Probably my top 30 songs are, I'd say Hard Times is my favorite. That one's written and sung by Ace Frehley. My other 2 favorites are both written and sung by Paul Stanley. Magic Touch and Sure Know Something. Save Your Love is another really good Ace track. Charisma and X-Ray Eyes are some good songs by Gene also. And Dirty Living is definitely another song worth mentioning, since that's the song that Peter Criss sang on, and it's actually the only song he sang on, since the rest of the album, the drums were done by Anton Fig. But yeah, this is a pretty good album. Yeah, pretty overlooked. So yeah, this is my number 2. And number 1 is gonna be Love Gun. If you haven't guessed it already, then yeah, it is Love Gun. Really, really great album. Pretty much a masterpiece. I Stole Your Love to open up the album is my favorite Kiss song of all time. Great vocal harmonization from Paul Stanley. Christine 16 has a really good solo in it, written by Eddie Van Halen. R.I.P. He passed away last year, unfortunately. And yeah, Shock Me is a really good song sung by Ace, which is the first song he ever sang on. The title track is really good. Hooligan, Almost Human, Plastercaster. So a lot of really good stuff on here. Really solid. 10 out of 10. Really great album. So yeah, that is my Kiss albums ranked from worst to best. Of course, not everyone's going to agree with this, of course, because there's 20 albums. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. So you guys can give me yours in the comments. If you just want to do top 5 or top 10 Kiss albums, then that's cool. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.